So I recently came across a video which talked about how to stop sabotaging yourself and stop getting in your own way. And I actually found it quite interesting and useful. And so today I'll go deeper into it. And so firstly, the key to stopping self-sabotage is to be aware of yourself. And so basically recognize the patterns of self-sabotage, and and stop thinking that you're not good enough. And then that'll basically stop you from getting in your own way. So believing you're not good enough is actually a really key thing for making a lot of people quit, or making a lot of people scared of doing something. So, and it leads to you not getting better, because at least if you try something and you fail, you will still eventually learn from your mistakes. For example, Thomas Edison, I think he had 1,000 failed experiments before he eventually made the light bulb. And so basically, failure is not something to be scared about, and so you should basically, and it's something to learn from. And so there's been so many times where I've run away from doing something because I believed that I wasn't good enough for it. There was a presentation in year 4, which was in geography about volcanoes, and I knew my presentation wasn't going to be very good, and so I just thought that I could never do it, and so I ended up hiding behind my classmates to try and not get picked. I just realized that now, even though I just tried to hide away, even if I didn't do well, I would have learnt and had skills to practice and learn from that. So like public speaking and presenting and other things like that, which I sort of missed out on. Second is to basically, you have to realize that your self-limiting beliefs are always stopping you from reaching your goals. And say, for example, you wanted to, your goal, your dream job was to become a rocket scientist, but maybe you didn't get like good grades. Then if you kept on believing that you weren't ever good enough to become a rocket scientist, then you'll basically never become one. But if you believe that you can become a rocket scientist and you end up working hard and studying, you will be able to become a rocket scientist. And there was also a similar idea where even if you're not talented at something, if you put in the work, then you will still be able to succeed. I also had a friend called Mark, and it's basically a similar story where last term we had an exam, and I remember him getting quite a bad score on the exam. He got like 200th out of 250 people. However, this time he managed to get 40th out of 250 people, which is really impressive because he's managed to jump 160 places ahead in only 2 terms. And that's just because I saw him working really hard before the exam, and I could see him really putting in a lot of effort into the work. And so you shouldn't believe that you're not good enough, because if you just believe that, you would never get better. So just follow what you think is right, and you will eventually achieve your accomplishments. Next is how to challenge those beliefs. And so basically you have to develop a growth mindset. And like I said before, failure isn't actually a bad thing, it's a learning tool. And if you ever think you can't do something, add a yet behind. So maybe I'm not getting good grades yet, and that sort of puts in your mind that you will eventually be able to achieve something. And like I said before, believe in yourself, because that is a really big factor of achieving success. Because if you don't believe in yourself, other people can see it as well. They can see that you're quite nervous and you're not really confident in yourself. And so if you don't believe in yourself and your ability to achieve your goals, then you will never be able to achieve them. And then also avoid perfection. And so with my presentation about the volcanoes, I just thought, even though now that I look back, it wasn't even that bad, but I just thought it had to be perfect for me to present. However, you're never going to be able to get a perfect presentation or a perfect everything or anything perfect in life. And so you have to just I guess push yourself out and to start now, because you'll eventually miss the chance if you wait. I think the main things to take away from this video are that firstly, you have to have self-awareness and recognize the patterns of self-sabotage so that you can break yourself out. And also to challenge those limiting beliefs, develop a growth mindset, and remember to believe in yourself and avoid seeking perfection, because like I said before, you will never be able to become perfect, and so just start now. Thank you for listening.